Here are the latest headlines. Ganduje launches APC chapter in France. Church leader in Plateau leads a peaceful walk to protest killings. Pope Francis dies at 88. Plateau state governor holds a stakeholders meeting on security. Hello and welcome to GLN's News. The All Progressives Congress, APC, extended its global influence as the party's national chairman. Abdoulaye Ganduje inaugurated the newly formed APC France chapter in Paris over the weekend. Addressing a large gathering of party supporters from across Europe, Ganduje urged Nigerians in the diaspora to rally behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reform agenda and the renewed hope vision. In a statement from his chief press secretary, APC National Chairman Abdoulaye Ganduje stressed the need for unity among party members abroad and urged them to keep supporting the government's reforms, even if they seem difficult at first. He praised Nigerians in the diaspora for expanding the APC's global presence by organizing and recruiting new members. Dr. Abdoulaye Ganduje also shared that the party is working with the National Assembly to ensure that Nigerians abroad can vote in future elections. Pope Francis's funeral is scheduled for Saturday at 10 o'clock local time in front of St. Peter's Basilica. The date was chosen after cardinals met in Vatican City on Tuesday morning to talk about the funeral. People from all over the world have shared tributes after Pope Francis died on Easter Monday at the age of 88. In 1957, when he was in his early 20s, Jorge Mario Bergoglio had part of his lung removed in Argentina due to a serious lung infection. Throughout his later years, he frequently experienced respiratory issues. In November 2023, he had to cancel a scheduled trip to the United Arab Emirates due to influenza and lung inflammation. In April 2024, Pope Francis authorized a revised edition of the liturgical book used for papal funeral rites. This new version will be followed for his own funeral. Pope Francis had requested that his funeral rites be kept simple, with a focus on the Church's faith in the resurrection of Christ. Large crowds are expected to attend the funeral, with several world leaders confirming their presence. Prior to the ceremony, Pope Francis's body will lie in state in an open casket at St. Peter's Basilica, allowing the public to pay their respects. His body, currently resting at the Santa Marta residence where he lived during his 12-year papacy, will be transferred to the Basilica. The Vatican has released official images of the late Pope at Santa Marta, showing him in a wooden coffin, dressed in a red robe, wearing the papal mitre and holding a rosary. The procession from Santa Marta to St. Peter's Basilica is scheduled to begin at 9 o'clock local time on Wednesday. Honoring Pope Francis's personal wishes, there will be no private viewing for cardinals, and his coffin will remain at ground level rather than being placed on a pedestal, marking a departure from customary tradition. Thousands of Christians in Plateau State, under the Church Denominational Leaders Forum, marched through the streets of Jos to protest the ongoing killings in the state. They carried signs with messages like "The ground cries blood," "Every human life matters," and "No more silence." Protesters expressed their pain and anger, accusing the federal government of failing to stop the violence or punish those responsible. Mr. Amos Mozo, the forum's chairman, delivered their message to President Bola Tinubu through the governor. He said the protest was to honor the victims and call for justice and peace in Plateau and across Nigeria. Amos strongly condemned the killings and said the community is tired of burying innocent people. "We are tired of mass burials, enough is enough," he said. He also rejected claims that the violence was due to communal clashes. Let us listen to him.
And state governments should conduct a thorough and transparent investigation into these terrorist attacks. These include identifying and prosecuting not only the direct perpetrators, but also their sponsors, financiers, and collaborators.
Following his address, the governor of Plateau State responded, "Let us listen.
I want you to know that Mr. President has assured me that he wants to see an end to this cycle of violence. And I, as your governor, I want to tell you again this afternoon that I didn't come to observe burial ceremonies. I came restored.
Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang held a meeting with key stakeholders to discuss the recent killings and ongoing violence in the state. At the meeting, he said the goal was to find ways to stop the repeated attacks and destruction of property. He noted that the state has faced security problems for over 20 years and called on everyone to work together to end the crisis. He also said insecurity is hurting the state's economy, especially in areas like food production. He thanked President Bola Tinubu for the efforts being made to improve security. Since the Jos market was burnt, food production has dropped. No area in the state is free from insecurity. That's why we're here to think together and find lasting solutions, he said. He encouraged participants to share honest and helpful ideas that could bring peace to Plateau.
Isn't it time that our hearts became united to deny this fallacy? I look forward to the day any of us will be picked upon, whether Muslim or Christian, irrespective of ethnic loyalty and identity, that we will say the same thing for the world to hear, that what is happening on the plateau is nothing short of genocide perpetrated by terrorists, and that we need to say, because if we don't speak with one voice, there are many advisors who will advise even Mr. President to believe that we are the aggressors, that we don't like to accommodate visitors. I think we need to rub hearts together. I want to appeal to all of us. This is the time to show that you are a lover of Plateau. This is the time that we must hold one another's hands and don't throw one another under the bus.
Let's also hear from one of the clergymen in Plateau State, Reverend Gideon.
The church has been on the receiving end of most of these attacks and killings going on in Plateau State. We've lost several pastors. We've lost several pastors' wives. We have several churches that have been burned down. Some of them I have personally visited. Some of the people who are suffering, who have suffered the deadly effect of these attacks, are people some of us relate with as pastors and also as a peace builder, by the way. That's part of what I do apart from my pastoral work. So sometimes when you hear narratives that makes no sense, it adds to the pain. It adds to the sorrow. You are killed. You clearly know that this is why you are targeted and killed. And someone in Abuja or some other persons, maybe researchers internationally, try to define what you're going through. It doesn't make sense. So the church understands in part that they're going through persecution. You only need to take the count to see how many pastors have been killed and how many churches have been burned down. Now, am I trying to introduce the element of religion? No. But the crisis, the attacks, churches are targeted, pastors are targeted. So when the president says that this is communal clash, it's retaliatory attacks, honestly, it makes no sense. With due respect to Mr. President. What we're going through, it's not communal clash. Please, Sean, cast your mind back. We've been on this for over 2 decades now. How could anybody in the presidency, including those who provide advice, whether they be national security advisor who visit, or they are ministers of defense or whatever they are, will tell the president that it is communal clash? No, it's not. So the church understands that that's not, and it's addressed in our letter that will go to the president. Is it farmer-herders clash or herders-farmers clash? It's not. The church doesn't see it in that light. For the simple reason that crops are destroyed. Why would you unleash cows on people's crops? You destroy them, and then you find narratives. You create a situation in which it would look like two people are clashing, and so you turn it into a conflict. We had that narrative from the former president, Buhari. Oh, it's retaliation. Oh, it's this. Now, Plateau people are some of the most hospitable people you can think of in all of Nigeria. Plateau State is a miniature Nigeria. You have everybody literally from any ethnic nationality present in Jos. So why would you say that the people are not willing to welcome other people? But Christians have suffered a lot as a result of the insecurity that we have experienced. So yes, the church does think that she is under siege. She is under attack. There are multiple factors that are responsible for some of what we're experiencing. Some of them are political, some are economic, but significantly the church has been a heavy casualty. Now, remember that most of those communities that have been targeted and have been attacked consistently for over a decade now, nearly 2 decades, are Christian-dominated communities. What does that tell you? Consider that many churches have lost members. Most of these farmers are Christians. Remember that sometimes some of these people in some of these attacks would be in the church when they are attacked. On the Christmas Eve attack, I personally went to Mangoro, all those villages. I toured them personally with relief materials under the auspices of our Peace Foundation, the Paramalan Peace Foundation. And we discovered that a number of churches were burned down, the pastorium burned down, pastors killed. I have the statistics. That can be sent if you so need it. And then we went to one place, a pastor with the name Pastor Gideon. His wife, pregnant wife, 5 daughters, some of them from the university, came home for Christmas holidays. The church was burned down, the pastorium was also set ablaze. And Pastor Gideon was out. All of his children have died. He has consistently told me he won't be able to go back and live in that house. What does that say? I think I'm giving you a deed. If people are not telling the president the correct picture, some of us are here to tell the president the correct picture. Are we trying to just introduce religion into it? No, it's a factor. Christians are part and parcel of what you call Nigeria. Do they matter? They matter. Are Christians willing to live in peace? Yes. And that is why the procession today was actually a peaceful one. The church has been walking and reaching out to leading Muslim clerics in Plateau State to see how we can try to promote peaceful coexistence. It's important that even this peace work, we actually contemplated if we could go out together with the Muslims, because there are certain Muslims who are very concerned. I think people all need to know the armed Fulani herdsmen are causing havoc. We are not hearing enough Muslims, Fulani leaders coming out to condemn those actions in practical terms. The silence is troubling. Who are the perpetrators? Who are the people who come? You hear them speak Fulfulde. Who speaks Fulfulde in Nigeria? How come that almost all the Fulani settlements have been in peace with literally none of these attackers going there? What does it communicate? We live in a country. I'm not profiling. Actually, I've got lots of Fulani friends. I need to tell you that. Lots of them, both those in power and those out of power. We have a problem. We have a problem that's why I use the qualifier, armed Fulani herdsmen. Some of them are terrorists. Some of them are armed. They're armed with AK-47. This is not news. The security knows it. This, like you described, women and children, completely harmless, innocent, on their beds, being attacked and killed in the dead of the night. and these communities are not able to defend themselves. Yes, the security could help them, but honestly, most of the times, not much happens. The security needs to do more. So would you continue to allow Christian communities to be attacked and killed in this manner? Please, it's been going on for nearly 2 decades. Somebody needs to wake up. Where are our policy makers? They shouldn't trivialize things. They shouldn't look for narratives to excuse it. That's why completely the church is rejecting the notion that it is communal clash.
Former Chief of Defense Staff, General Theophilus Danjuma, retired, has stated that Nigeria's security issues have turned the nation into a subject of ridicule. Let's listen to him.
I know we have a lot of problems, including security. As recently as 2 or 3 days ago, we've experienced kidnapping near Kashimila, and the threat of kidnapping will continue until we, every one of us, rise up and defend ourselves. It is quite clear the government alone cannot do it. I have warned very long time ago that in a speech in Ukari, that our people must be prepared to defend themselves. That warning is as valid today as it was when I made it.
That's it for now, but I will be back with more updates as the story develops. If you found this report helpful, don't forget to like, share, and comment with your thoughts. Subscribe and follow to stay updated on all the latest news. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.